Hi everyone, welcome back to Live Interactive English, Day 2 of our climate change article, How Climate Change Threatens Your Favorite Foods and Drinks. Chocolate, coffee, tea. We learned about those yesterday. What are some foods that you don't want to find in our article today? Foods that you don't want to live without?
Bananas.
Ooh, good one.
Love them.
Yeah, lots of people eat bananas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for me, I might say wheat.
Is it because of bread?
I love bread.
Me too.
You know, different types of bread. Pasta, too.
Yeah.
Made
Noodles.
of bread.
Oh, no.
You know, bread's used in, or wheat's used in so much. So let's hope those aren't on the list. But we're going to find out by reading today's article.
I think they will be on the list.
It's not going to be good anyways. Let's check it out. Climate change doesn't just affect the foods and drinks we enjoy as treats. It also affects crops that people rely on to survive. More than 4 billion people rely on just 3 crops, wheat, corn, and rice, as their main food sources. All 3 are threatened by rising temperatures and drought. Another important crop at risk is chickpeas. This crop is particularly sensitive to drought and is the main protein source for 1/5 of the world. All right, so let's read on and find out more about how climate change threatens your favorite foods and drinks. Part 2.
Climate change doesn't just affect the foods and drinks we enjoy as treats. For example, chocolate. Treats are something sweet.
Coffee, tea, those are kind of
tea.
treats too, yeah.
It also affects crops that people rely on to survive. Rice?
It's
Wheat?
true. I mean, yeah, we could live without coffee, tea, and chocolate. I mean, we love them, but, life would go on.
Gosh.
But what about foods that people rely on to survive? Foods that people need to live, basically. And here we're talking about not just a few people, but half the people in the world.
Billions.
More than 4 billion people, basically more than half of the world, more than 4 billion people rely on just 3 crops, wheat, corn, and rice, as their main food sources.
Oh no, you were right.
If you look at all the food that people eat in North America and Europe, mostly that's wheat. If you look at all the food people in Asia eat, mostly that's rice. And in South America, they eat a lot of corn as well. If you took those away, you'd have a lot of hungry people because people rely on those foods.
Yes, and to rely on means you depend on something, you need it. And because you eat it every day, it's a part of every meal. For instance, Ed relies on his income, me too, to pay the bills. So that means Ed needs a job, and his job pays him money every month, and he relies on that. He depends on it to pay his rent, to pay his water and electricity bills. It's very important, just like we rely on grain and rice and wheat.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ed might make money from his birthday or Chinese New Year gifts, but not enough to pay his bills. That's why he needs the income from his job. And yes, people rely on rice, corn, and wheat all around the world. What is wheat? This is basically a grass that is grown on farms in large amounts all over the world, and we use wheat to make flour, and then we use flour to make bread and cakes and pies and croissants and donuts, and basically anything that is bread or has bread in it is made from wheat. That is the grain, that is the grass. It's kind of a long golden stalk with little things. They grind that up to make flour. They use flour to make bread. For example, Louis grows wheat on his farm. Good old farmer Louis, the wheat farmer.
Taiwan also has a lot of wheat farms.
They have a lot of wheat farms here?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. More than
pretty.
Rice? Probably
More
more
rice,
Yeah,
more
more
rice.
Definitely. All right.
Okay, so the article continues to say all 3 are threatened by rising temperatures and drought. So we have the temperature going up every year, and drought is no rain.
Yeah, very dry.
Super dry.
Can't grow wheat.
Another important crop at risk is chickpeas. Oh, I love chickpeas. Now, this isn't that popular of a plant here, of a pea here. It's like it's kind of like it's a white bean, and we make hummus with it, which is really yummy, but it's not super popular here. This crop is particularly sensitive to drought and is the main protein source for 1/5 of the world. That's a lot of the world. Wow,
Absolutely,
chickpeas.
yeah. They eat it a lot in the Middle East and North Africa, places like that. And these are places where they might not have so many cow farms, or they don't eat pork. They don't eat certain animals too. So getting protein from something that you can grow rather than from an animal is very important, because of course we need protein for healthy muscles and strong bodies. Chickpeas are a good way to get it, but 1/5, 20% of the world needs these chickpeas. And again, they're also in deep, deep trouble. This is not good. Let's take a break,
sad.
and then we'll be back.
I love chickpeas.
Yeah, hummus is tasty. Seafood is also a major source of protein for the world. Sadly, warming oceans and higher levels of CO2 are causing fish populations to decrease. Every year, the amount that is sustainably harvested shrinks by over 1 billion kilograms. To keep these foods from disappearing completely, farmers and scientists have been working together to breed crops that need less water and can better survive changing weather patterns. They've had a lot of success so far, but these new crops can't stop the damage that has already been done. If we don't stop climate change, we may have to find replacements for these foods in the future. Wow, okay, so wheat and chickpeas, they're in danger. And that's a big problem, of course, because as we mentioned, billions of people rely on these. All right, now we turn our look to the oceans and food that comes from there. And this one probably isn't such a big surprise. I think we've heard about how the oceans and the animals, the fish and other things we get from the oceans are in danger. It says seafood is also a major source of protein for the world. Sure, think about Japan. Most people there get their protein from fish, for sure, and other parts of Asia
every
too.
meal.
Absolutely. Sadly, though, it says warming oceans and higher levels of CO2, that would be in the water, and higher levels of CO2 are causing fish populations to decrease, right? We talk about overfishing, taking too many fish out of the water, but also higher temperatures and CO2 mean that fish are having fewer babies. There are fewer young fish, means fewer older fish, means fewer fish to fish, and more fishing boats in the water. Getting more fish means the whole system is crazy and
broken,
not working. Yeah.
Okay, so every year, the amount that is sustainably harvested shrinks by over 1 billion kilograms.
Wow.
So we're talking about sustainable harvesting, which means that you're taking the fish and capturing them in a way that's beneficial to the environment, in a way that doesn't harm the environment. Now, what does that mean practically if it's sustainable harvesting?
Fish farming. Yeah, you can farm certain types of fish, but of course there are many types of fish, especially big ocean fish like tuna, that you can't farm, right? And fish farming is also, it causes problems, and it's something that can only be done on a small scale. So we can't replace the number of wild fish with sustained fish or farmed fish. It just doesn't work. So that's why the number of fish taken out of the ocean and other types of seafood is going down by 1 billion kilograms. That's what, like 500 million tons of fish less year after year. This number is decreasing. When something decreases, it basically goes down in number. If you go from 100 down to 50, that is a decreasing number. You're going down in number. For example, the city's population decreased by 5,000 last year. So there might have been 500,000 people there. Now there's 495,000 people there. The number went from a higher number down to a lower number. In other words, the number shrank.
Yeah, I think that's good because there's probably too many people there.
Probably.
We can also say shrink as another word for decrease. So shrink is like get smaller. Now, populations can shrink, but people can also shrink. If you lose weight, you would shrink. If you wash some clothing and you throw it in the dryer, your shirt might come up as a baby shirt.
Ooh.
It would shrink.
Yeah.
Certain clothing items may shrink in hot water. So when we wash our clothing and you look at the label, some of them says hand wash cold water only or dry clean only, because if it touches water, it's ruined.
There you go. So to keep these foods, these seafoods, these fish and other things we get from the rivers, lakes, and oceans, to keep these foods from disappearing completely, farmers and scientists have been working together to breed crops that need less water and can better survive changing weather patterns. Okay, so this sentence is actually talking about all of these foods, the chocolate, the coffee, the tea, the wheat, the chickpeas, and the seafood.
Ooh.
Scientists, farmers, they have to work together. We need to come up with new crops and choose to eat different types of foods that won't be such cause so much damage or won't be affected so much by climate change, because the foods that we do eat, the foods that we do rely on, some of them could disappear.
That's right, and disappear means to not be there anymore.
It's gone.
They're gone completely.
Where'd my chickpeas go?
It's magic.
Where'd my chocolate, coffee, tea, shrimp go?
But it wouldn't be magic if they became extinct.
True.
Now, disappearing could be somebody suddenly gone, something is suddenly gone, but it could also be when someone does a magic trick and it looks like something is gone, but maybe it's still there. So for example, Janet knows a great magic trick. She can make a coin, that's right here, disappear. It's gone.
Okay, so it could be magic, or it could just be something was there and then it's gone. Hey, where did Joe go? He disappeared from the party. He just kind of left. He didn't say goodbye. It's like he was there and suddenly he wasn't, but of course something happened there.
That's right. So the next sentence continues and it says they've. Now they're talking about these scientists and researchers who are trying to make the world survive with less water.
Right. And the farmers, too.
And the farmers. These people, had a lot of success so far.
Good.
But these new crops can't stop the damage that has already been done. So when we talk about something good that can't stop the damage that's been done, it means it's a bit too late and we can't fix the things that happened before that were bad, because we already ruined the environment enough. Okay, the next sentence says, if we don't stop climate change, we may have to find replacements for these foods in the future, meaning we won't have any more chocolate, but we might have to grow something else or eat something else.
Yeah, and certain things like chocolate, well, it might be impossible to find replacements for things like that, but wheat or chickpeas, we might have to find something else to take the place of the one that disappeared, the one we can't grow anymore. We still need something like it, so we'll get a replacement. But of course, that's hard, and would be better if we didn't have to find a replacement. A replacement is basically a new thing to take the place of the old thing. If something breaks or you lose something or it doesn't work anymore for some reason, but you need something like that, you will have to buy a replacement, all right? If you're going to the beach and you have your big sun hat, but then where's my hat? I lost my hat. You can't go to the beach without a hat, so you'll need to get a new hat or borrow a hat or something like that. You'll need to get a replacement. For example, my phone broke and I need to buy a replacement. It's hard to live without a phone.
Yeah, you're going to get one immediately.
Exactly. So maybe your brother or sister has one they can give you, or you'll buy one, but you need a new one to take the place of the old one. All right, let's look at our what do you think question for today. What food or drink would you miss the most if it were no longer available?
Ooh.
Bananas.
And wheat, because I love bread.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one. I was also thinking I'd miss garlic.
Ooh.
Maybe not the most, but I miss garlic the most because I use it in a lot of my cooking and it adds a lot of flavor to things.
Natural flavor.
Absolutely, natural flavor. And it's garlic. Everyone loves garlic. Imagine having your kong chin sai without some garlic in there.
Ooh, that would be weird.
Kind of
Tastes
boring.
like nothing.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. Think about a food that you love. Maybe do some research and find if it's in danger and what you could do about helping its situation, because we all don't want to be eating boring food, do we? That would be no good. Take care of yourselves and the environment, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Hello， 大家好，我们今天要看6个单字。第一个呢是动词 rely， 它是依赖、依靠的意思。之后呢可以接 on 或者是 upon， 再加上名词，像是 rely on 或者是 rely upon。像第二个呢是名词 wheat 小麦。第三个是动词 decrease 使减少或者是使降低的意思。那第四个单字呢是动词 shrink 使变小、使缩水。那它的三态有2种，一个是 shrink、shrunk， 也有人说 shrink、shrunk、shrunken。那第5个呢，动词 disappear， 它是消失、失踪的意思。通常字首有 dis 表示相反或者是非，所以 appear 出现的相反就是 disappear 消失咯。那第6个单字呢是 replacement 名词，替代物或者是接替者、取代的意思。这部分呢，我们要一起看2个句子。第一个呢是 Climate change doesn't just affect the foods and drinks we enjoy as treats. We enjoy as treats 前面省略了受格关系代名词 which 或者是 that， 用来修饰先行词 the foods and drinks。Foods 为什么在这边是用复数表示呢？因为它想表达的是多种不同的食物，所以在 food 后面加一个 s。OK， 那我们看一个受格关系代名词的例句。Someone is playing the song that I love. 有人正在播放我喜欢的歌曲。那这个句子里面的 as 它是介系词，表示作为，所以 foods and drinks we enjoy as treats 的完整意思就是我们喜欢当做小点心的食物和饮料。最后我们看一个 as 的例句。Karen gave her son a new bike as a surprise. Karen 送给儿子一台新脚踏车作为惊喜。那第2个我们要看的句子呢是 To keep these foods from disappearing completely, farmers and scientists have been working together to breed crops that need less water and can better survive changing weather patterns. Keep something from 加名词或是 VING 指的是阻止或者是防止的意思，像是 Wearing a belt will keep your pants from falling down. 系上皮带可以防止裤子掉下来。好，那句子的中间呢出现 have been working together 是现在完成进行式，它强调从过去到现在一直持续进行的动作或者是状态，表示一直在共同努力。我们呢也可以这样说 I have been trying to contact you since this morning. 从今天早上开始我就一直试着联系你。那这句的尾端呢 can better survive changing weather patterns。Better 它是副词，表示更好的、更大程度的。那 changing 呢，它是形容词，表示变化中的，所以 changing weather patterns 就是变化中的气候形态。那动词 survive 呢，可以作为及物或者是不及物。在这个句子里面呢，是及物动词，表示幸存、继续存在。比如说 ，12 people survived the accident. 12个人幸免于这场意外。那如果是做不及物动词的时候呢，就是生存或者是存活的意思，像是 Humans can't survive without water， 没有水人类就无法生存。那相信聪明的大家都学会了。See you next time!
Climate change doesn't just affect the foods and drinks we enjoy as treats. It also affects crops that people rely on to survive. More than 4 billion people rely on just 3 crops, wheat, corn, and rice, as their main food sources. All 3 are threatened by rising temperatures and drought. Another important crop at risk is chickpeas. This crop is particularly sensitive to drought and is the main protein source for 1/5 of the world. Seafood is also a major source of protein for the world. Sadly, warming oceans and higher levels of CO2 are causing fish populations to decrease. Every year, the amount that is sustainably harvested shrinks by over 1 billion kilograms. To keep these foods from disappearing completely, farmers and scientists have been working together to breed crops that need less water and can better survive changing weather patterns. They've had a lot of success so far, but these new crops can't stop the damage that has already been done. If we don't stop climate change, we may have to find replacements for these foods in the future.
Hi everybody, I'm Holly.
And I'm Carson.
So Carson, do you know anything about Taiwan's prehistory, their people, the lifestyle, or their artifacts?
No, I don't. And that's why I'm here today at B1, where the Prehistory of Taiwan Gallery is located.
Are you as curious as we are about Taiwan's prehistory?
Let's go ahead and check it out.
There are 7 exhibition rooms in this gallery. Each room shows one aspect of the prehistoric era of Taiwan. Here, you can get to know the beginning of Taiwan's prehistory, prehistoric people's lifestyle, and many artifacts from different periods.
In order to let visitors understand prehistoric people's daily lives, these exhibitions use life-size sculptures to recreate how people fish, hunt, and farm. Those sculptures allow us to easily understand how they lived in the past.
In addition to sculptures, there are some tools as well as artifacts. Without the help of technology, their tools were handmade from wood, bones, or stones. Here, you will see a lot of pottery and objects made of stone, jade, and iron. They are from different cultures of various periods in the prehistoric era of Taiwan. Although these artifacts are from long ago, their designs are quite intricate. You can clearly see the pattern on these small artifacts. What an outstanding technique!
Over here is the scientific archaeology area. Here you can learn how archaeologists discover, explore, and analyze archaeological materials. If you are interested in Taiwan's prehistory, you should definitely come down and check it out for yourself.
I learned so much. Until next time, bye!
See you next time!